Manchester City breaking news. Man City have reportedly made contact with Bournemouth regarding a potential move for Eli Junior Kroupi. Next up, Tottenham have reportedly opened official negotiations with Man City over a potential deal for Savinho, and River Plate are expected to approach Man City about the possibility of bringing Claudio Echeverri back on loan. But first, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening about the citizens. Manchester City's summer rebuild is starting to take shape, and one of the most intriguing names emerging from the club's recruitment plans is not a global superstar. It's 19-year-old Eli Junior Kroupi. According to Fabrizio Romano, Man City have now made contact with Bournemouth to understand the conditions of a potential deal, and that alone tells you how serious their interest has become. What's fascinating about this story is that Kroupi isn't just another talented youngster being monitored. Reports suggest Man City have been tracking him for months, long before Pep Guardiola's departure and long before Enzo Maresca became the leading candidate to take over. That continuity matters. It suggests this is a club-driven target rather than a manager-driven one. It's easy to understand the attraction. Kroupi is versatile, technically gifted, and capable of operating across multiple attacking positions. Modern elite clubs are obsessed with forwards who can adapt to different tactical systems, and the French teenager fits that profile perfectly. But here's where things get complicated. Man City aren't alone. Romano reports that both Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain have also made inquiries, turning this into one of the most competitive transfer races of the summer, when clubs of that level are all asking the same questions. It usually means the player is viewed as a potential future star rather than simply a promising prospect. The reported £80 million valuation is enormous for a 19-year-old, but Man City may see it differently. This is a club entering a new era. While supporters naturally focus on immediate success, recruitment is also about anticipating the next generation. In my opinion, that's why this story is important. Kroupi may not arrive as a guaranteed starter, but if the citizens are willing to battle for his signature, it's because they believe he could become one of the defining attackers of the next project. My friend Man City fan, would you spend £80 million on a 19-year-old with this much potential? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Manchester City's summer rebuild is beginning to create its first major casualty, and it looks increasingly likely that player could be Savinho. According to reports from Brazil, Tottenham have now opened formal negotiations with Man City over a deal for the Brazilian winger, and while talks are still in the early stages, this feels like a transfer that is gathering real momentum. What's interesting is how quickly the situation has changed. Just 1 year ago, Man City reportedly rejected a huge offer from Spurs because Pep Guardiola believed Savinho had a significant role to play in the club's future. Fast forward to today, the Spanish manager has left, Enzo Maresca is preparing to take charge, and suddenly the door appears open. The reality is that he never truly established himself as a guaranteed starter at the Etihad. There were flashes of brilliance, moments where his pace, creativity, and direct dribbling reminded everyone why the citizens invested in him. But consistency and opportunities were harder to find. Being talented isn't enough. You have to force your way into one of the most competitive squads in world football. From the Tottenham's perspective, the attraction is obvious. Savinho is only 22, possesses enormous upside, and could thrive in a team where he is given greater responsibility every week. In my view, this story is about more than one outgoing transfer. It's about the direction of the club under Maresca. If Man City are willing to part ways with a player they once viewed as a major long-term asset, it suggests difficult decisions are being made behind the scenes, and every departure will help define what the next version of Man City looks like. The biggest question now isn't whether Tottenham wants Savinho, it's whether Man City believe the £60 million they're demanding is more valuable than the player he could still become. So citizens, if Tottenham meet Manchester City's £60 million valuation for Savinho, would the club cash in now or keep faith in his long-term potential? Share your opinion in the comments. Sometimes, the most significant decisions are about players who haven't even properly arrived yet, and that's exactly where Claudio Echeverri finds himself. The Wonder Kid arrived in the Manchester City system carrying enormous expectations. Nicknamed El Diablito back home, he was viewed as one of South America's brightest young talents and a player capable of becoming a future star at the highest level. But football development is rarely a straight line. Over the last year, the Argentine midfielder has discovered what many young talents learn when they arrive in Europe. Potential alone doesn't guarantee progress. Adapting to a faster, more physical, and tactically demanding environment can be a challenge, even for elite prospects. Now, reports suggest River Plate are interested in bringing him back on loan. Emotionally, it makes sense, returning to a familiar environment, playing in front of supporters who already adore him, and rebuilding confidence through regular football. Sounds attractive, but from Man City's perspective, the calculation is different. The club's priority isn't short-term comfort, it's long-term development. That's why a move within Europe appears far more likely. Whether it's Spain, Portugal, or the Netherlands, Man City want Echeverri exposed to the tactical intensity and competitive demands that will eventually prepare him for Premier League football. This is where the arrival of Enzo Maresca becomes relevant. As Man City enter a new era, every young player will be reassessed. The club must decide who can become part of the future and who needs more time away from Manchester. In my analyze, Echeverri's situation is worth watching closely, because while the headlines focus on established stars, the success of the next Man City project may ultimately depend on how well the club develops the next generation. And few prospects carry as much intrigue as Claudio Echeverri. My friend Man City fan, would you send Echeverri back to River Plate or keep him developing in Europe? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is the Citizens News Fan channel, and I'll stop here. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. A big hug and see you in the next video.